Should be live now. OBS broke again. Lower restart of. This is what I need for it to not break every time. This is still broken. Still need to fix my overlay. And I don't know when I will do this. I don't really know what I will do today. Well, parsing functions, but where to start? To do first. Expressions, more expressions, function. This is all. I think this. Okay, so where am I? Oh, parser. Guess I'm doing declarations. Just copy paste this. No types. Function, declaration, definition, module error. Yes, maybe create a file so I'm not typing it out each time. Test with str troll VS Code, troll language, and node code. Okay, I guess this extension is not taken. So let's compare it to Rust for now. Making a function. And okay, so how do you use this? This is hard. declaration function. Rename is declaration. Leave text as Rust. Just function with here on this module. Get to fill chat even more. Oh, release that. Yes. Okay, this will work. Much. Hi, Nerdsel. I wasn't get much here. Okay, say. Which crafting interpreters? Like I stumbled upon a video from like a series of videos from someone, and then this book was in this series of videos, and then I stumbled upon this book in reality. Jeez. Keyword function. Let's pick it up. I want a map version of this. Probably. Next token. See here. An option of T. Mapper. Map. Like I just I was searching for this exact phrase, and this book just popped up. I'm not really reading it. I should. This is like yes, like an example for me. No. Like I saw a video. With the taboo. Some result. I saw a video from some Russian guy called Animon a long time ago. By long time I mean 2 years ago, or no, 4 years ago it was, where he was building an interpreter in Java, like how this book describes. Uh, okay. Let's do I need a map? I don't think this would be optimal. Option of option. Let map and it's called and then map and dot and how do we end option with a boolean in Rust? Schools, does this looks cool? On the C implementation. As far as I'm aware, C as far as I'm aware, C version compiles to bytecode and runs in VM. Can't really say that I remember. Bool then. Yes. Is it in bool? Why is there otherwise? Some function. Then some takes value, then takes function. So we need predicates. And then output. We don't need this ref. I need to take this. Okay, so it's not a good idea. So it would be hard to use. And this NAST traversal is a bytecode VM. Yeah. Like, Java version AST traversal is what I've used to build my languages interpreters for my languages. Identify. Wait. Like all languages for garbage collector are AST traversals. Anyone did a series of videos about AST traversal. So such a long time ago when I watched this. If this is keyword is identifier identifier. Keywords and identifiers are merged in my implementation. I'm an identifier, so if much expected option on the num. What do you mean? Yeah. So I need to take it. Does this move? I feel like this is undefined behavior. Pick is moved, right? Well, how? Why linter doesn't provide a computation error for this? Copy. Copy with an option of a non-copyable type. Yeah, token is not copy. Maybe it's because I have a compilation error here. Yeah. This is weird. Two phases. It's probably more than two phases. Like building MIR, that's overlapping. Like Rust compiler builds MIR, HIR, based on like MIR comes after HIR, HIR comes after AST. This is all super complicated. Borrow checker in since 2018 does checks on MIR, I think. Okay, this is move. What do I do? If that some token ID. This is what I don't like. Identify about Rust. Not particularly I don't like. There is no real solution for this problem. Well, I don't think so at least. So, pick. So I want to borrow here and then match it. So I'm not moving. Like if this is the case, I'll need to unwrap this. Identified and identifier. Nesting. This is nesting. Some else it's unreachable. This is what I do normally with this program. Missing else none. Yeah. Can't move out. Because I need to take here. Before I knew about this function that exists, I did standard memory or replace or something. Like reading through the documentation and seeing this function exist. Why Rust compiler didn't warn me? Okay, so if I do an keyword identifier, learn about option take before standard mem. I didn't learn about standard mem before option take. Like I was searching about this in internet. I saw a Stack Overflow post about standard mem take. That's what I've used. Predicate shouldn't take. This doesn't take anything. Context predicate have keyword. Like, for some reason, Stack Overflow gave me standard mem. I can't even Google this because I don't remember how to ask this without using the word take. Okay, so we have format here. I don't think I used k or. No, I haven't used k or. This would be a little this won't be with tokens error formats expected function lowercase. I think the users give me example function. Yeah, expected expression, expected type. So what I mean by terrible solution to this problem. I have two cases: when I don't have a token but I'm expecting it, and when I have a token but I'm expecting another one. That's okay. Expected function name. What's this? I think I can do this. Like, tokens dot peak token dot unwrap or map, or default is nothing. String. This is next. Yeah, I need format here, another one. What this? This looks terrible. And they have borrowing errors. Like, why there is an error? This looks weird to me too. Like, first evaluate parameters. So this is evaluated first. I've borrowed it, I've returned the borrow, and then I'm doing this. For some reason Rust doesn't let me do this. So I have to do something like this. And this would actually work. Like, this works. And I don't know how to fix it. Maybe this is just with format, but I don't think so. Like, format says it borrows stuff. Maybe. Okay. I just don't want this. This solution looks bad to me. Expected function name. We evaluate. Expression is evaluated before, but Rust compiler just doesn't, like, borrow checker doesn't like this. If I do fn, just fn, expected and name, expected identifier found end of a file. This is how I marked all my errors at the end of a file. EOF. It's wrong. Wrong terminal. Oh, function. That's not what I expected. Function parse module function. Why? In module function, not found in function parse. Is it just scroll issue? It gives me end of file. Like, my lecture doesn't have end of file. My lecture has none. Maybe I should just do this. What? Well, working with end of file is, I won't say that it's easier, except for errors. For errors, I want to create something like what token functions that will return immediately a string, just for error messages. And it will self.peak dot map or else else here for some reason from end of file. This will be token string, I think. Is this implementation in debug? I think. Main display. Can just display implementation. Can't move out as a ref. Force as a ref. Okay, now I can do this. Tokens what? Let's see what we got. What we've got. Another errors. Got. Let's do this for time. Can I don't think I can. But this type parsing is quite specific, and I'm not even using type parsing actually. Yeah, you have a function name, then args. For parsing args, for now, I'll I don't have parentheses. I need to add more operators. Well, these operators for lectures are hard to. Okay, let's separate those and add parentheses here. Why my tab? Why? Yeah. I don't like grammar. I don't like those lectures. Well, there are some good ones like enum lecture or ones that I've used for garbage collector too. Don't remember how it's called. But first, they don't have good regex. Regular expressions, missing a lot of features. Second, I want to write my own, and I want to move as much of the lecture as possible into another crate. So there is this crate for qotd, this crate for a language, and another crate for a front end that has just some utilities no one likes. I won't show this. I want to show this. I want to show this. See this regular expression. I wrote this at 2 a.m. This expression just replaces. This expression makes all struct fields public in very specific case when you have 30 rename attribute on it. I've had to do this for a schema for LDTK, good old LDTK code generator. Where is it? Source. Yeah, here it is. So this is schema. It's fetched from official website. Like I have the script. This script just downloads schema Rust version of it, so I can parse it into a file. But this file, bad thing about it is that all those fields are private and no way of accessing them. So I just wrote a script that will make them all public. Problem was because SED has weird regular expression syntax. There's a flag, one of those, that makes them extended mode, like easier to write, more like normal irregular expressions. It was still hard. Let's parent. Alright. This is how we write those. Operation. Why my tab doesn't work? Tab. My tab just. Chapter 17. This is chapter 17, right? What's this? What's that? 17 is compiling expressions. There's scanning chapter 4. Why my tab just works like a tab? This is not how it's supposed to work. I'm pressing tab and it goes to close. Why? VS Code. Every stage is duplicated into chapters. I have to divide this by 2. Control flow, 3 walk interpreter. Making Ferris Java lecture 16 is a C lecture. Scanning on demand. Yeah. I remember writing an effect system, kind of effect system for the 3 walk interpreter. Like I saw this control flow. What's it in Java? Making control flow exceptions like was hard. Not just hard, because in effect system you have to call a function first. Well, in my implementation, you have to call a function handler, and if it returns, you have to walk back, unwind this stack, all those. If it resumes, you have to resume. Maps better to Rust. I made a chat overlay to read from my first monitor because I don't have a second one. I have a second PC. It looks so bad that I just prefer reading chat. Effects are tricky. Now I will have to write them for compiled language, and I have no idea how we'll do this. Like seams slash. I remember this reminds me so much of Animon series 5 years ago, 4 years ago. Coming on demand. Source code, scanner tokens go into compiler, bytecode chunk goes into VM. I'm told. I'm told. Not enough memory to read. Well, you shouldn't just read a file. I have a buffered reader at the top for my language, my lecture. It's all like pipeline, pulls whenever it needs to. Are you bored? I still haven't fixed my overlay. That should just explode. Token, I've read through this one. Well, not like read, just scrolled. And now. Lexical grammar. The simplest tokens are only a single character. There are operators with not a single character. But I don't think this is the case in log, or what this language is called. And class else. What is this called? I remember doing a for loop to parse my keywords and operators, like peeking into future. It was terribly inefficient. Here's game. Oh, it's chapter 4. And my tab word. Reload. What's this reload? This reload. Does this help? Yeah, my tab is working. My tab is back. Fetching Rust Analyzer. What was that? What extension was that? Diren? Rust extension? A function. Now we need to parse them. By the way, parse expressions is it's terrible. Here is it. It's going to go. Like I took this from Animon series. He had a hash map, I think, or a collection of all operators, and he checked if this operator, if the current buffer is an operator from this collection, and if it is, we're continuing. If it's not, we're returning previous one. So the longest one accepted works, and this only works if you have an operator, all operators prefixes, like this operator is 2 chars. So in order for it to parse, I have to have this operator, which I don't have right now because I'm starting out. Yeah. So those shouldn't parse. Quickly check this, in fact. But if only I could check this quickly. Fresh. Oh, so much errors. Expected. Tenors, not so much. Okay, let's try. I think I've tested it and it worked. No, I'm not. It shouldn't. It does. Weird. Oh, it's probably because first character. Just like, I just have first character and then I test next one, right? If right, then uh, internal error operate. Yes, this is an internal error. It shouldn't be internal error. That's because now I'm missing do while. Buffer push character. Okay, so this character is what next character? If character contains borrow as borrowed string. Wish I could do God's clause or what it's called here. Like just return from the if. But it's not a separate function. Maybe it should be. Maybe I actually should make this a separate function. Like parsing operators is hard because you can't just check if the next token is operator. Unless you are sure that all possible characters correspond to the start of a token. So I have this if, I mean this block, that runs just if none of the tokens match, and it checks if the following character is an operator, character or some characters, and if it is, I return. If it's not, I follow to error. Okay, let's check what we wrote. This looks good. Push it left. Why? This compilation compiled with errors. Why? Why? See why? Well, middle click somewhere. Like middle click just pastes or something like that. Okay, but this works. If we do 2.4, this works. Well, to parse token that starts with. Yeah, let's go back to. It's the worst fish. Like I remember in I drew or what this fish this service is called. I'm using middle click to move to pen and zoom. I've used this, and in I drew I just paste every time. It's annoying. What in Liberes? Here is declaration. I wish I could render emotes in my overlay. Well, when I will migrate it to gang, maybe I will be able. I'll need to fetch emotes from Twitch, from Better TTV somehow. Okay, match operator. Well, let's end here. Left and right. If If not, I'm tokens error affected formats affected function argument list. What? Is this a good error message? What? And I have to do this trick probably. Return. And I don't think I need this here. Like for expressions, this was necessary to either give a value or give like a register number, allocation number, something. The idea to show the correct syntax directly. Just put an example into an error message. Expected left red. I don't know how to write this. English is not my main language, as you can tell. I see this. I remember seeing this often. Maybe in Java. I had so much fun working in Java, and then I worked so much with C++, and then I've switched to Rust. Like one guy just made me switch to Manjaro from Windows, made me switch from C++ to Rust, and now Kiwiman made me switch from Manjaro to NixOS. Not made me switch, it just decided to lose. We cannot experience other people. If not much greater, copy this error, paste it over here and say expect, it's not like argument list is not yet supported. Now just put this here. What? Expected. Now expected this. What? And then I'll need a block thing. I don't know where to put it because it's an expression, but it's a statement. No, it's totally an expression. You'll have to put this in expression. But for now, let's say that I'm doing this later. And let's try to send this directly my backend. Define function or declare fun. Like, I don't know if we should define it or declare. Functions are most important thing. I don't know if I should merge definition and declaration or make them separate. Like if I would like to compile to C, I will have to have something like this. My Rust is Rust has a visitor pattern. What it's called, like define a function here. Probably declare tolerance. Like I'm asking if this was only for Rust-like language, even Rust has some function definitions like this in external blocks, and I want to implement this too. So Rust has pattern, like visitor pattern, when you can call function after defined after where it's called. To do this, I have to build an AST of some sort. The only problem is I don't like how it works is I have define function, like not define function, expression example. I have a function gets called. It calls a function in the backend that will write some assembly code, and it doesn't just build a backend, an AST, like a literal function. In backend x64, for example, like an integer function, it declares a variable, a value, I mean, because of small optimization. But I don't want to use an AST because overcomplication. And to go the shortest path from code to this. I could have bypassed Lexer step. It's not a single path. Like for optimization reasons, I have to have an AST. Moving this to a backend might not be the most optimal thing. Like here I have I'm just calling a binary operation, for example. It just adds an instruction, allocates a variable. And a kind of constant propagation. Like the simplest one, if I'll take a look at what bolt. Where is it open? Waiting for me. The simplest example of such optimization is I have a parameter, I'm returning it. Yes, typecast. This is just move. So this is, if I remember correctly, input. First parameter. This is return value. There are conventions. Here they are, but those are complicated. So if I add one, like this moves EDI to EAX and adds one to EAX. If I would do something more complicated, like, well, the main point is when I have an expression, either I can move this to a value like p. For example, I'll do this. Shift left, EX. So this moves B. B is CX. ECX. And why? Why 31? Or is it a protection? If I this moves a value into ECX by default, so we can use it later. If I just do B, this moves it immediately into EAX. So even with optimizations disabled, by the way. Rust has a weird thing, like if I put a constant expression with optimizations disabled, it evaluates it. This is not even an optimization. But in order to do to put this into output register immediately, I have to know where this would go, like return expression, for example. For this, I have to know what will happen later before I generate assembly. I'm kinda bypassing this by using allocation. Like I have, before I put everything into registers, I have indices of values, like, and when I get to use those values, like I'm seeing return value, then I'm assigning this index a register of return. Example. But normally optimization would, like, you would have to see later. I was thinking about building, not building an AST of expression, but building an AST of like general AST. This is hard, kinda. Don't have type checking. Yeah, I don't have type checking. Wait. If I... What's wrong? Expected enum. Because it's not an enum. It's not an option. It's not a return value. The returns here. Okay, so if we just put expression here back. I don't think I have type safety. Not yet implemented. What do you mean? What do you mean not yet? Oh. It's easy. Ooh, value. Backend integer. Integer. And just out. So value is so this is like with the first plus. This just works. I just add a boolean to a value. I will need to add type checker. Also, borrow checker. Borrow checker probably requires an AST. I'm not sure if it does. Do you think borrow checker requires an AST to work? Well, it requires a state. Yeah, it requires a state. It doesn't require an AST, so just walks forward, marks variables somewhere, and when we like borrow a variable, it adds a mark. Then simple explanation. It kind of sees where when borrow ends, removes the mark, and this kind of stuff. But I don't need an AST. Do I need an AST or like a symbol tree? I want something like a symbol tree. AST is not like reason why I'm not defining an AST is because then I would have to call my backend to convert this AST into another AST, which would be overcomplication. So I'm trying to go the shortest path. For now I'll just do this. So back to the original question. Do I define immediately or add a declare first? Like declaration is kind of not for a backend but for a compiler itself. Around 3 ASTs. All garbage collectors have 1 ASTs, and garbage collector first version has stored all data in token. Token is a variable, token is a type, token is everything. I even look at it. Spoilers. Well, not spoilers anymore. Games. Garbage collector. I've tried making garbage collector 2 with my build system some time ago. I'll make 2.5 because this is terrible. So all the code for the language is in this one file, which is pretty small, I think. Well, 555 lines. Garbage collector language doesn't have a garbage collector. It doesn't have an allocation. It doesn't have return values. Well, second one does, but this one doesn't. It doesn't have functions. It does have code, and you can assign code to a variable. Yeah. So token. This is how I store variables. Token is, here's token. It contains a value as a string, and it contains table in case this token represents a table variable. No functions. Just plate. Garbage collector. Like if you go to the end, I don't really want to play it right now. Like, wait, can't just. I can look into source for a level. NPC dialogues. Or like monologues. Where do I store book content? Is it the main? Or that is my main? Oh. By the way, this uses. My gosh, this is such old. This is so old version of my framework for C++ game development. Jingle Bells song. Like audio was hacked for every game jam I did with this. Font was hacked even more. Destructors? Why? Why would they have destructors? Why is this so like C? Last version that came out is still does have classes, destructors and constructors. Level doesn't have this. I want to see where is the book. Particles. Particle system in garbage collector 1 is very complicated. Like particles, when particle hits a wall, if this particle is on a tile that can be filled, it fills the whole level, not a tile. Kinda. I don't even remember how it works. Objects. What is object? Is it an NPC? Main particles PC. Oh, this user manual. Here is the user manual, and congrats for beating the game. There are variables, print, read about for each stuff, forever functions in Wheelman. Actually, this language has functions, but you can't define them. Functions are defined. Functions are defined by your code. No, by like this language is kind of a standalone library, and functions are defined by user of this library. You can call them. I don't remember how it did perform in code, and I don't even see it explained here for some reason. But it has code. Oh, here's it. Eval. I don't have functions. I assign a string to a variable and eval it, or I assign a code block to a variable and eval it. This is how functions work in this language. Yeah. So let's stick with define for now. Back and data types, operations, define function. So define function will probably just jump to the function. Where is the yeah. Uh, well, garbage collector 2 has eval function, but not for assigning code, but for running the code from files which are stored in file system, where file system is a variable of dynamic type, because you can't just store a file system, you have to store it like a map of maps. Each value can have different amount of nesting, so that's why I've added an any type just for that. This is library. I lost again. I need x64. I'll make a 32-bit backend. Like, I was surprised by Rust not having a 32-bit version of compiler. I tried Rust first time on January 4th this year. Actually, like YouTuber Howdy Ho posted in his Telegram about Rust. It was fun for them to learn it, and I decided to try. It was my birthday. I've tried it. I didn't like some stuff. Then I came back and got that I don't really use the stuff that I don't like. By I don't really use, I mean I don't write unsafe code. Now I have a better understanding in Rust. I did a lot of projects with it. Some big ones too. A level editor for my Game Boy project. Yeah, let's do define function. I didn't like borrow checker is fine for me. It's not a scary thing, and I fighted borrow checker only once when I've used an ECS. Because ECS just erases the whole type system and makes the language dynamic. What they had trouble with is moving, I think. Like if you pass a variable to a function, it moves out and it doesn't return. And I always had trouble with this before I finally understood that you shouldn't move. Instead, you should borrow in these cases. Like you move if you move forward, you borrow if you go on a side quest, which will bring you back. This is how I understand it now. Okay, define function shouldn't return anything. Shouldn't return a data type. Shouldn't return anything. Again. Okay, well, if I want to define an inner function, this would be hard. Maybe no, maybe not that hard. Okay, value, no value in define function. What we want to define function is a name and arguments later. I will have a name. Name is just a string, right? So name that contains colons, probably. Like if I get rid of this, I don't know why identifiers are mangled. Well, for static functions or private functions that have static linkage, it's fine, so you don't have a repeating. But this function is public. It's mangled terribly. Like Z and 7. I think this has arguments in it. Argument types. It's all because of C probably. Like I don't know how to scramble this name. And I will have to do this because I will have to scramble symbols because I want to be able to use codes compiled from my language in other languages and the other way around. Love me something. Why is this black? Okay, let's demangle it back. I think I'll just pass colon. What's it again? Or instead of double colon. Let's just keep a name here and to name string. And the way I will do this is of course by adding an instruction called label. Yeah. This is just fun. Label that takes the string. I will have to do some wrapping, I think, because I'll need to end the function and put like destroy a stack frame or something when I leave a function. Also, I want to check quickly slices if a is equals to like 25, 20, 26, did 26 for some reason. Return 156, for example. So there's a return statement. What's the return type is not. So this doesn't jump. Yeah, it doesn't duplicate stack frame. So we just do stack frame once. Now it's time to understand that in order to make a stack frame right, you have to know what will you do in function, and that's why you have to have an AST normally. I'll probably just add go to label and put some stuff after it. Why? Rename it. Push label name. Okay, have a label. That's how we define functions in assembly. Yeah. Missing label. Kill my charms. Label. Label. Label is the first one. So name. Right line. Name colon. Can't write and okay, I have label. This has one error and I know where is it. No, it's not an error I expected to see. Do I still have expression? Yeah. While instead of this I'll just while parser declaration functions parse tokens back and return a boolean if I have parsed successfully, like if it's present. So this returns a boolean too before I return an option. So I return. Have I parsed it? Yes. Expected function name, like here. Have I parsed it? Yes. Here? No. This is how it works. I have parsed the function if I encounter, how do you pronounce it? So I have parsed the function if I have a fn keyword encountered. Let's see. More errors. If this returns true if I have a symbol or something, in this case declaration, if I have this. If I don't have a declaration, then it's probably a program end. I should move this out. Actually, it should not point out. They want to run help file, just file. I'll need to migrate to REPL also. Test the tr compilation error. Failed to parse tokens that start with parentheses. That's because I think I haven't added. You can do by pressing right arrow on Ctrl E menu. You can open a file without closing the menu. I haven't used this. So I have to add I have to add so to, and I want to just this skip error, internal error. I have to add operators in so much places. That's what you should use already working lecture. Just define a grammar or something. I really like the num lecture library. More lyrics. It's in lecture. It has a really poor regular expression engine, but it's nice to use. You just define an enum. Also, comments and something and stuff like this in such libraries is usually bad. But here, like, you have this library is cool. This library is cool. You can just define a regular expression or just what it matches, or you can define a regular expression and code that will be ran to convert this text into your token. So here you just do this, you take this token, return it and parse as a text, and it has an error handling. It's just nice, just so nice. It has, I think it has DFA generator. I don't know what DFA is. I think it has reading from a file. This guy loves JetBrains, you know, for sure. Enum lecture. I think it has parsing from a file. The reason I've switched off from this is because I couldn't get floating point literals to work because it has a poor regular expression engine. And I found Labs, which is a cool library too. It's not just a lecture, it's a parser too. So this is how you define a token. Quite similar, just define it with attributes and derive. Like regex, all of those. Just a char. This has a slightly better regex engine, but it's still bad, kinda. What I'm using now is a lazy regex, which is, I think, a wrapper around a regex crate with proc macros. So this has this token AST, and all AST items are defined like this. I like this. It just parses an AST and it's easy, and it's not a grammar, it's a code gen. I just liked it. But I wanted to do my stuff. I wanted to do. This is what I used for garbage collector too, but I wanted for my language to do everything myself. I could have used Elixir if I could find one that suits my needs. And even for my front end, this is a simple compiler front-end utility toolkit, much like any other. This library that is partially my lecture, I should move more stuff into it. It just can be replaced by any other library. It doesn't have any special features. I just wrote it because why not? It doesn't make sense. Niche. How do you pronounce this word? Like, I haven't really searched. There was results. Language, Rust language. Rust making. There was a website. Tools. There was a really good website. Can I search? Can I search through Google history? I don't think I can. Rust libraries for making a programming language. Language in Rust. Langdev, something like this. Something like this. I think this, but GitHub page version. Inside sections. Like Rust language development. Rust langdev. Here it is, I think. hackmd.io. Yes, it is. So this website has a lot of stuff in it that is useful for making a language, like lectures, parsers, code generators, so backends basically. I have a very special use case for my backend. String inserting, a lot of stuff for strings, surprisingly. Is the translator? What is this? Edit. It has just-in-time compilation libraries, and I will need something like this. It has error reporting. I even have those ones here pinned, not pinned, but here, so I can check this and use it in my own language. It has language server protocols, which I would have to implement too, but I'm not looking into it yet. Unicode stuff. Unicode stuff is useful. I am using Unicode identifier, which is based on Unicode XID to parse my identifiers if feature is enabled. This has testing. I don't really know what is this. Like compiler testing. I can just write a Rust test. Why not? I don't know what is this. I don't know what. Oh, it's conversion from strings to and from strings for floats, int, and bools. This is useful. Really useful if you want to write a compiler. I don't know what is this. An interpreter for LVM. I don't know what solvers are. Those are parsers for CLI arguments, REPL. I want to use Rusty line. I've pinned it here. I want to implement it, but I have some stuff I'm doing string handling, like string library small, syntax trees, pretty printing. Like this is a good website. I should send it in chat. Uh, and, actually, let's send it just for fun. Let's send it to this bot. Make chat a little more active. Can I do this? Oh, it's not nice. Yes, that's cool. That is cool. You need to add a page new. Page itself. Open in bots container. Firefox containers are useful if you want to have different accounts on something like Twitch. YouTube supports it natively. Here, I'm Coder's chatting. I'm not an intimate coder anymore. So, like, YouTube has a native support. You can choose accounts, switch between them. Twitch doesn't have this. Like, Firefox containers are a little easier to use than YouTube account switcher, but I don't really bother because I want to make a set container just for my second channel, because I don't want to put my second channel into bot's container because it's not a bot. Technically, I only upload to it using Twitch API now, like export to YouTube. I don't like it for now. I don't like how it pronounces. English is not my main language. Okay, let's see. We have a main label. Okay, this is good. This is good. Let's do something a little bit, I don't know. Do I do bad thing or a good thing? Immediately. Let's do immediately good. Rate expression. Block expression. Like in case of Rust, this is pretty much a block expression, because you can do same thing with same return here. But this block expression has one. It's not just a any regular block expression. This has returns. Just here return, and this return doesn't return from this block, but from this block. I think to replicate this, I can just say I'm in a function, so any return would lead to an end of this function. If I would have to define an inner function like an inner 3 2 okay, nice. Just return inner function from here. Yes, it has some non-optimized stuff. Return jumps to the end of the innermost function. Yeah, like if I would do an inner function, I would just queue it or something for compilation and put it later like this. And it's not like innermost function, outermost function. It's just a return from a current function. So when I'm parsing inner, I'm in this assembly block, so it jumps to the return. Implementing this, like adding a return, another one, would be kinda. It's backends. Innermost equals current, yeah, but in my context, I don't want to have an inner function and an outer function. I want to use this function for something like this. And I don't know how to do this without AST. Well, maybe I actually... No, I'll need an inner function. Like, create, there is also a create that I reference. Just make an AST. I will have a tree of definitions or declarations. Just a tree of symbols. But I don't want to have an AST. I don't want to have an AST. Don't repeat. There is a crate called qotd, a code generation library. It's a simple library, a simple compiler backend. I've read through its source. As you can see, it's Mac OS, written on Mac OS. I've read through this code. I would use it if I wasn't having some specific goals. This is a really good library, I would say. It's expandable, it's modular, and it's simple. It's not overcomplicated. That's what I see rarely. Like, I don't know about dependencies. Oh, see, it's not overcomplicated. This is what you want to have as your dependencies. Just watch and learn. So this function is simple, and the library is simple to use. For functions, it has like, you define a function, provide linkage, let's see stuff, arguments, I think, and return type. It returns some kind of identifier, and then you switch to it. And I think what switch to function does, it jumps to some place in assembly code to insert into here. Maybe this is what I want to do if I want to have inner functions and outer functions. I think actually this is what I want to do. I should link to this one also in chat. Write this manually. Create IO it's code game. This should be it. Quickly check. Is it crashed? Maybe on my second PC? No. Maybe. I don't know. I think browser on my second PC is crashed. I have my stream manager. No, it's live. It's alive. But I have two instances of it for some reason. So let's see if it's right. Faces. Yeah, it's right. Okay, it's alright. I'm alright. This is a good library. So I don't know if it's maintained, but it's a good library, and it has one crate that extends, one external backend. For some reason, only one. I guess if you make in a language, you would use LLVM, and you would really rarely you would make a compiled language, and I don't know, like really rarely you would make a language and use something other than LLVM. I'm going to compile to Rust. You're going to compile to Rust. Compiling to Rust. Well, I would not recommend compiling to Rust because Rust compilation is slow. That's the only reason. There is a Rust compiler called mrustc. Well, here at least. like hub function SSS. That's how we do stuff. Like 3 I still. Why is compilation failed? Just C slow because of monomorphization, maybe. So this compiler compiles to C and macros. I'm going to do proc macros differently from Rust, like make them more accessible. So this compiles to C. This C code looks a little terrible. So much stuff. But most of it is just unsigned 128 or signed 128 integer. Where is my function? Here it is, scrambled. Yeah, but it's a C code. So this compiler combines Rust to C. The thing with C, it's really portable. C compiles to everything. CS Coding made a C compiler in guess what? PHP. CS Coding Daily. They're probably live now. A C compiler in PHP. I don't know what it compiles for. What has been? They done everything I want. CS Coding done everything I wanted to do. Probably a search engine, yes. I don't remember what. Like there was a MIDI program, I think, visualization or something. Like C is portable. I saw a guy on YouTube. Like Animon is my favorite language development playlist series of videos, but there was another one which was good too. Not as good as anyone because anyone had modules at the end in their language. Let's say in his language because it's one person. Anyone wrote a game with own lang. This is how it's called. It's Animon made a compiler, a mobile version, not compiler, interpreter. And git com/animon on. Remember how to write it. Oh, yeah, I think it's it. This is it. I don't remember an avatar yesterday. I visited this GitHub yesterday. It's not really active now. Last video on Animon's channel was about FFmpeg 2 years ago. So if I search for own lang, I can't find it for some reason. Oh, here is it. It's in Russian, as you can see. This is because I didn't know English at this time. Google Play. Also, anyone has translated a lot of stuff. Test visitor includes. Yeah, this is the visitor pattern. That's what I talked about when I said function is used first and declared. So another series was about writing a language in JavaScript that was compiled to C. This is just how it ended. It was so long ago that I can't even remember anything about it. I can't really. I can't find. I don't remember what. But it was compiled. Compiler was written in JavaScript there were basic optimizations with eval. It wasn't really a complicated language, but it was compiled to C, and they want to make a compiler to C, because it's a C backend just for fun. It does not sound healthy. Well, if you like a language, you write compiler in it, right? Right. JavaScript is not that bad. I've used it for a couple of projects. I've used it for a couple of my projects, not like projects, but just a research. Wrong. Parser. I did some research projects like in JavaScript. I've learned React. There was a time I don't like web dev. I'm not a web developer, but there was a time I just joined starting free course. How do you say this in English? It was like a tutorial about JavaScript, React, and making a Pokemon-like game with it. And I've watched this tutorial like, and then like first week, since tutorial, so first week was free and then it was paid. I liked it so much. Then it got to the end. I have paid. I got to the end. I was enjoying this so much, and then I never used React. But I know that it exists. I know what is it. I know what reactive stuff is. I just don't like web development. And then I've used web development. I made some web projects, like mostly. There's a project called Orneo, my project. It generates from Neapolitan. Neapolitan is format that Alan made. So Alan made these formats. If you watched Bad Cop, you would know. Like if you watched Bad Cop, my trip was I watched Killman rated Bad Cop rated Alan, and now I'm making a parser for Alan's format. This generates HTML. Barely. Bad Cop doesn't stream often. Like Alan did stream quite often, but for me it's night, so I can't really watch them. Like yeah, this generates HTML. My project. I did research for audio waveforms in JavaScript. Like I did some audio stuff in JavaScript because it was just easy to set up. I should use Python for that more. For like some stuff like this. Okay, back to work maybe. An expression operator. Rust expressions. There's also Rust reference. I know you like light sim. I like light sim because I like light sim, but I'm gonna switch to dark one. So Rust reference is a good website if you want to learn about Rust. Even Elixir grammars, like Elixir grammars are not like grammars here, but something like this. Like this website has a lot of stuff. Okay. It has about expression. It has blog. It has. I want to block. Tell expression of block expression. Block expression is a part of what? This is a little weird subdivision for me. So there's an operator expression. Oh, whole rules. And operator expression contains some stuff, arithmetic and logical, and only here you've got actual operators. The expression is quite complex in Rust. Yeah, expression contains break is an expression, range is an expression, even is an expression. But it's not what I'm focusing on. I want to find a block. Block expression. Oh, here is it. Expression with block. Stream elements. I haven't fixed stream elements still. How do I use random peak in it? Maybe I should just disable this timer and use my main bot. Chatry. Maybe just Chatry spamming this. Are you bored? Game. What is this? Oh, a block. So a block is just a block expression. I can just implement this as a top level one. And because a block expression is a complicated one, and actually all Rust code is happening in a block, some kind of a block. Expressions. So yes, expressions. All Rust code is happening in a block. All statements are in a block. That's why I want to separate it. So all actual code is in a block. All actual code is in functions. Functions are in blocks. Functions can be associated, functions can be methods, but they are still functions. And also code can be in lambdas, which are fancy functions, and move block, which is quite weird, because those are expressions with blocks. Where's lambda? Of closure. This is how it's called, and I should be used to it. Here is it. In expression without block. Move block. Async move block. Async block. Async block expression. I mean, those two. Closure is simple. Closure is a function. But async move block. First time I see it. Async block. I mean, first time I see it is here. Error break inside of async block. Is it just something like declaring a closure? I mean, I think async is complicated by itself, and I will have effect system. I'll probably have to still implement async. Okay, async is now I understand why async block is here. Because async is a whole another way of abstracting a control flow. That's why you would want to have async block. In the future. That's what I mean. Like async closure, but it's a block. I don't know why not make it a closure. What does IIRC mean? If I remember correctly. I'm learning so much of acronyms last time. It's not really a function. Well, yeah, fine. Async block exists because a language internal structure. But it's like a function. It's like passing a function to something. Unless you define a custom executor and implement an effect system with it, like Kilman did. Okay, so I have, I want to have a block, an expression, and block int. Ferris. Even separate this into here. It's just a state machine, yes! It's just a state machine. but you think it's a better state machine. I still don't know how I think works. I still haven't read through this even close the stuff. Async in depth. No, wait, I have read async in depth, but I still don't really fully understand how async works by state machine. But it's useful. It's actually useful if I don't like implementing state machines because they require a separate class or structure. That's basically why you have in most of frameworks a state structure and some functions in it like update, draw. I just don't like I like all good old functional approach. Even if it's passing a function update, it's still better for me. Like update function requires mostly static variables, which are bad in Rust. But with async, you can just define variable inside the block, so it's local variable technically. Or you can just pass a closure as an update function, and it will capture and better move. Very good at getting distracted. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I just waited for you to notice this. Parse. I'm going to be getting distracted. There is a reason for this. Let's say. Does Kiwiman good at getting distracted? Is it because he's bad at doing progress? I mean, is he bad at doing progress because he is good at getting distracted? Parse operator option, so it's an option now. So there's a problem coming here. I think those two things match. I think they are. Like if I'm getting distracted, I'm doing not much progress. If I'm not getting distracted, I'm doing much progress. Like most of my streams are just me sitting talking to myself or talking to one viewer that is fake, because viewer count is always your actual viewer count plus one for some reason, and it's not my bots. I know it's not my bots. Yeah, I'm getting distracted because I rarely have a viewer to talk to, a chatter to talk to. So there is a problem of data type from backends. Do I want to put a unit type into a backend? I don't know, like, is it a thing? Is it a good thing to do? Because expressions return this. They would also return a type for type checking, probably. It's an option, like, because you can have an expression or not have an expression. If expression is invalid, you return some here, but you fire an error, add an error to a list. Error handling without, like, error handling when you want all errors at once is hard. That's what I want to say. And I don't know what to do here. Do I add another option above this, or do I add a unit type here? Like a data type, self data type, an x60 for example. Would be a data type is a value. that only contains an integer for now. I actually don't know what should go here. I don't have a floating points yet. I don't have a parser for floating point numbers because it's their floating point numbers are complicated. They have to have 1 point, and they can be expressed with something like 3e 10, which is also what I have to parse probably. And so I'm not using it. If I'm using 10 to the power of something, I don't use 10 to the power of something. I use 2 to the power of something, which is a shift. If I use 10 to the power of something, I write 10, something like this. So I think I feel like I add. This is a bad thing to do. Adding a unit type here. Blocks can't have a unit type. Can like just question. Can addition operator in Rust return a unit type? So if I Google Rust operator over example, like if I want to run some code on addition, but I don't want to return a result. If yes, that's a problem for me, probably. So standard here. Where you won't have anything. Add self output. Output is a unit type. Doesn't sound like math now. Yeah, like my system doesn't like unit types. Can you add a unit type to a unit type? This is a question. This is a question now. Yeah, doing operator overloading with my backend is quite complicated to do. So if I define a function with a good name maybe. So I will give fl, add fl to it, and return this. They have an error. Unknown called gen option op level. That's because I'm using C compiler. I want to use something like this. Why is what is this? It's less than sign. Why is it here? Oh wait. Oh, okay. It's not a less than sign. So add a format. Let's just remove this. Add and main. Wait, why is main not here? Why is main not here? Is Rust default optimizations that good that they just got rid of main entirely? Oh, it's because main is not public. Good wolf. Okay, it's calling a function. It compiles fine. It's fine. Okay, fine. Fine. I'll have to implement make this be able to be a unit type. I don't know how. Like a block expression. Block expression can have a return any value any expression can return any value. Can be unit type. I don't want to return an option of an option, or an option of a return value which would contain an option of data type. Should I add never type to the backend then? Data type x64 exam. Like this is the backend. Does C have the same? Just go full on algebraic. I will have algebraic effect system. This language has to have a unit type and never type, but putting this into a backend is kinda questionable, because it's a backend. What backend has to do is generate a code for any architecture I like, generate a code for Java virtual machine, and generate C code. Those are three architectures I want to have. Yeah. Now we just need a summoned product. Like C doesn't. I don't think C has such things. Let's ask algebraic types in C. Okay, there is a library, just like with effect system and delimited continuation. C has unions, yes, but I'm asking about unit type, and well, C has enums, so enum of no values may be possible. Like any algebraic types can be kinda defined with enums. So if you add a tag, you get tagged unions, aka some type, aka Rust enum, features that everyone misses when it goes to any other language. TypeScript, I heard TypeScript has something like this, so I want to see. There's also CPPX and C++ circle. Yeah, but void in C is kinda special. Like void type is only a return type for a function, or you can write void here instead of all arguments. You can't have two voids, I don't think so at least. But you can have one void here, which doesn't make sense. So let's define in void. Void in C is not void. And semicolon. Empty enum is invalid, so C doesn't have never. This is actually a never type. Never. Let's try make a unit type. A. Okay, unit type can exist, but never type can't. I've researched in Rust, never types are actually never types, not void. I just want to call them void for some reason. So you can make your custom void in C, kind of. You don't have never because C has a very weak control flow. Like if you do void, you can return, like an expression for making void is here. Here is it. I'm selecting it right now. Let's save C. It doesn't have never type. C has a void type. But void is a unit in C. Let's say void is a unit in C. When I say void and mean never, that's my mistake. A consistent language is when where you have never and unit. Not like this. A consistent language is when you have never and unit. This is how they're called in Rust, at least. So I'm just in C. Let's choose math. Math is scary. I don't know math really good. Well, where I am, I know math good. I know math a little further, or maybe a lot further than where I am. But this is easy. Math has a lot of stuff in it. C is easier. C is easier to understand. C has everything you want. C is in my plushies. Let's fire one for C. Hope my overlay just doesn't explode. Well, C has only 6 points. Nothing to explode. It's also really broad, and most people mean calculus by math. Because I know English bad. My English is bad. And I don't remember what calculus is. Don't remember. Okay, so if an example of me using a unit type in Rust or in Rustlang, what I'm developing, I don't know really. Like, except for functions that return a unit type, I don't want to store a unit type in a variable. Derivatives, integrals and stuff. Like all operations you can do on numbers, not only numbers. Derivatives and integrals are operations that you do with functions. Okay, changing the stream to a math stream. It's not a software and game development anymore. In Rust you can put a void in a variable. In C you can't. By void I mean unit type. This is not a thing in C. Like if I want to compile to C, I just discard those variables, return an integer, because actually C is that language that you return an integer. Like this function returns an integer. This function returns an integer. Here, return type defaults to int. So C doesn't have nevers, she doesn't have units, she has integers. All you need, assembly. You can write assembly here. I wish Compiler Explorer could generate assembly. Like understanding x86 assembly is hard, but it's all dependent on compilers. Like this is simple. It even has my name in it. Just can't realize, because like if you choose Java, you get Java bytecode, which I will have to generate too, actually. And I don't know how to put unit types into it. I don't know, putting a unit type here it's not a good idea. Are you scared by Java bytecode? Would I consider a goal generating JavaScript instead of assembly? Like this is another one, but who needs to generate JavaScript when you can just use WebAssembly? So yeah, I really don't want to put Java is scary. Java is not scary. Java is good. Let's just visit. I'm distracted again. let's just visit my good old Java projects. So I have C++, I have NetBeans project. I like Java. I've enjoyed Java. I've enjoyed writing Java. A lot of stuff in Java. There are some generators like emulator, a program for simulating electricity. Well, not quite. It's just a fancy redstone program. 2D. I've enjoyed Java. This is a program that is supposed to calculate PID coefficients from wheel diameter and some other constants for LPR robots, blind following robots. A game jam. I don't really remember what this is. Universal interface. This is MOVA version 2. This is MOVA. My first ever language, which is good. It even has a notepad plus grammar for it. Release Java. Why is it in release? My source code is in release, I don't know. But it has a lot of stuff. Code parser, compiler, expression tree. This is me writing all of this when I watched Animon. Bin. Oh, it's binary what is binary? Is it a bytecode? I think. Execute. Class. Why is class starting from lowercase letter? Oh my gosh. OP codes. Command string. For each command. Binconf. I think it's conversion or something. Replant. I don't know what does replant mean. I think it's no, it's not replace. I can't just misspell it. But this thing has a compiler. Well, kind of. It has a compiler. Kind of. What is this? Batch files. Why is this called Orion.cmd? Orion is the compiler name, I think. Was back then. It was so fun. Okay, so this is a compiler executable, I think. This is a list of bytes because I couldn't just write a list of bytes. I had to use a byte as a class, but I didn't. I didn't knew about this, and I want to see actual compiler. Read F, read file. Like short name. Just not talk about this function. I didn't couldn't just name it normally. A compiler. So a compiler calls, I think, this parser compile director. Why is this called compile director? Libs. I'm using backslash as a file separator. Okay, so I think this is an interpreter, maybe not. Oh no. Oh no. This is so old. Well, I think it's actually like assembly parsing or something. File words replace. No, it's actual. It's an actual parser. Why? Optimizer. I had an optimizer. Why is this called optimizer, and why is it optimized? So what optimizer does is it walks through my assembly and converts one instruction into into pi parsing. This is what I mean by liking short names. Include. I'm searching for file to include. Del OSTCC. Why is this CC? Is it constant? And I've googled how to I've googled how to translate division to English. There was three ones with del starting and one division. I fixed del as my instruction. It's one story. And this is distracting. So I'm putting this into an option. Is what I see. I don't want, but I will put this into an option. The expression will have expression. Let's call it mode. It's not really an expression mode. I'm streaming for so long today. So long for me. Okay, let's call this expression node. Type. I don't know how to write type. I don't want to put underscore. I can write ty. I can write node type. But type is not available. In my language it will be available. Because you would never start anything with an identifier in my language. Like in Rust too, but I don't know why type is considered a strong keyword or what it's called. Expression type, not type. It's type. Care about it later. Just comment down for now. And data is an option of the data. I should make this into an enum to support never type. And I should do this actually. Enum expression value. Well, type should have it. No, type shouldn't. Type is just for type checking. So expression value can have a never, a unit, and a value which contains a t. So let's make this a simple generic. Here. Expression value t, and this is value now. Right. VS Code is better than Beam. Well, Helix is better. VS Code is still better. VS Code is the best. Okay, so I have I want to have an constructor here. Make you from an expression value and value 1 for value t value t value here. I'll care about types later, and I'll make this return an option of an expression value of b data type. Yeah, this is complicated. Yeah, I want literals. With literals, I for sure I want expression node of value. Those are literals, come on. What's wrong? Parser expression value, a data type for structs. Dispatch types expected enum expression value of data type. Found expression node. What's this? Oh, this should be a node. True. Okay, this should be same as this. Okay, right. Little previous binary operation expression node of a value, not of, just value. Okay, and I want to import an expression node. Use super. Okay, what's wrong? Expected associated type data type. Oh, okay. This is a problem. Can you just do operations on expression node? Because expression node can be a never, and you can't just add something to a never. Normally I would handle this with type checking, and type checking is hard. Like, I will have to implement type checking for structs. Like if I want to add some two structs, I will have to check for overloaded operators. Are operators overloaded? Like I can't do this normally because I have type checking is easy. Type inference is hard. Type inference is even harder. Like if I have an operator overloaded, if I have an operator overloaded for something, and like this is handled by backend, but type checking is handled by frontend. By not by frontend, but by the compiler itself, so the language itself, and I'll have to somehow check if I have an overloaded operator here. Doing type checking today. I've done a lot today. No commits, but a lot. I speak a lot. This is because you need an AST. I don't need an AST for that. I can just have two types, but check if they are edible, for example. It's hard. Like for Rust, what I'm saying. Like if I would have an AST, it wouldn't be any easier, because AST for an object, like not even for an object, AST wouldn't hold anything useful here. I will still hold functions in some storage or something, and like I can in theory search for functions that does exactly what I need. Like implementing traits is hard. and Shade Johnson. Because I can. He's probably ending already. Probably, maybe. Wow, I have a big number of viewers now. Okay, so if you're still watching, thank you for sticking out. Thank you, Nerdsel, sticking out. Yeah, I'm rating a guy with 93 viewers when I have just 4. Bye.